Hello there and welcome to CNR Extra here on Citi TV, coming to you live from our studios at number 5, Wula Hansen Lane, Tesano, Accra. My name is Philip Basoah. Coming up. 2 babies dead and others in critical condition at St. Anne's Hospital following power disconnection by NETCO.
The first time they disconnected us, we lost a baby. And the second time, we lost another, making it 2 already. As we speak, there's one in critical condition that needs transfusion.
Polls begin in Kumawu to replace late Member of Parliament Philip Basoah.
From our end, the MPP, we will not do anything untoward, to break the peace in the community.
The police will do the general security, we'll leave it to their hands. But we as a party will also put measures in place.
Pupils at Makayili Primary School in the northern region forced to rely on their bellies for studies due to lack of furniture and classroom beautification.
It is seriously affecting teaching and learning. Because time to come, their posture of writing will be in difficulty. Simply because they used to lie down. Even when we are giving furniture, we have to retrain them as to how to sit.
And later on, CNR Extra, fire engulfs over 40 shops at Tiptoe Lane and renders Kotobabi residents homeless, pushing them to appeal for support from authorities.
What I have to do is to build the structure. After the structure, then I bring in goods so that I start the business again. Because I cannot sit home. I cannot stay home. And this is my business.
Once again, welcome to CNR Extra here on Citi TV. We are coming to you live from our studios at number 5, Wula Hansen Lane, Tesano, Accra. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comments via WhatsApp line 0204-447033. We are also streaming live on YouTube on CityTube. Ni Latte, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Philip.
How are you doing, my brother?
Well.
Let's go straight to Kumawu, where all is set for the by-elections.
All is set for the highly anticipated election in Kumawu, Ashanti region. Now, all participating key actors have expressed their readiness for Tuesday's polls. On Monday, the Inspector General of Police held a meeting with the political parties involved in the election to emphasize the importance of a peaceful process. Citi News' regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Campaign activities have officially concluded in Kumawu, but the atmosphere remains charged. The election remains a significant topic for discussion among constituents in the constituency. The Electoral Commission has assured its readiness for the election and has called on political parties to contribute to ensuring a credible process.
All that we are requiring from the candidates is for them to provide effective polling agents, not the noisy one, the one who knows the difference between 69 and 96, the one who can understand adding up figures, for them to be at all the polling stations to represent them. They should be there throughout the voting period. During counting, they should be there and observe. After counting, if they are not in agreement, they can call for recounting. And when the counting is done, declaration of results forms will be filled. And they need to sign and then take a copy. That document, the statement of poll and declaration of results at the polling station level, forms the basic document for declaring results at all levels. So when they get it, they should send it to their candidates or their secretariat for them to add them up, collate them. They will have it earlier than the Electoral Commission, but we will wait for the hard copies. And when they have done that, they should move to the Coalition Center, the Electoral Commission Coalition Center, the Presby Church in Kumawu, And then, if you pick a resource from one center, we will announce it audibly for everyone there to hear.
There was a controversy over the use of the same symbols by two independent candidates, but the commission has explained how it resolved the issue.
When the last Kwekudua came, you told him then that your symbol resembled that of another candidate who has already filed, so you should go and change it. He said no. We spoke to him, but still he said he would not change it because that is what he has used. Kwekudua was supposed to bring a symbol, and he said no, you should still go by that. But that is against the law. If you look at the CI 27, Regulation 14, 1B and C, it is there, clear, black and white. And so when we're going to print the final notice of pool, commission had to allocate a symbol to Kwekudua. That was why we gave him a hope.
There is heavy police presence in the communities, and patrols have been intensified to maintain security. The Inspector General of Police held a meeting with political parties ahead of Tuesday's polls. The new Patriotic Party has affirmed its commitment to ensuring peace during and after the polls.
I can assure that from our end, the MPP, we will not do anything untoward, to break the peace in the community and also to create violence and tension. We will not do anything like that. We will go like we have been in this constituency for over a month now, campaigning. There's not been any incidents of violence, chaos. We will maintain so, and until the vote is done, and we'll leave the community as peaceful as we came to meet it.
Similarly, the National Democratic Congress has also given assurances of their commitment to a peaceful process.
Of course, the police will do the general security, we'll leave it to their hands. But we as a party will also put measures in place to ensure that we have whatever arrangements that we need to do internally to ensure that whatever plans that we put in place as far as our deployments are concerned, our collation of resources are concerned, declaration of the resources are concerned. That one, we are not leaving it into the hands of the police, but we trust that the police will do the general policing and ensure that nobody comes in there, create unnecessary tension, cause any harm to any voter.
Over 34,000 voters are expected to cast their votes at 75 polling centers in the election.
Constituents here at Kumawu will be going to the various polling centers to cast their vote to elect a parliamentary candidate in this by-election. The Electoral Commission, the police, and all the political parties say they are ready for the exercise. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Kumawu, Ashanti Region.
Of course, and all is set for that important elections. Yesterday, the IGP had engagement with all parties involved in these elections, and from the side of the NDC and the NPP, they promised to ensure that everything is done amicably or peace prevails during this process. Also, the Peace Council has come out to state categorically that there shouldn't be any cause for trouble during this by-election, which is happening today. And we also understand that voting has started. At some centers, started at around 7 a.m. this morning, which is expected of the exercise.
Well, Philip, we cannot overemphasize the need for this particular by-election to be conducted in not just a credible manner, but also in a much peaceful way because of what we've seen in the past. For example, what happened in Ayawaso, West Wuogon, some years ago. And for me, I was thinking that it was a great step that the Inspector General of Police met all the parties involved in this election. Just that few hours into the polls, we are hearing reports of already signed pink sheets popping up. That is where my fears actually come from. So we are just expecting both parties to play by the rules of the game. Nothing untoward.
And with the already signed pink sheets, the NDC has come out to say that no agent should sign these sheets, and that is coming from an executive of the NDC, Nuruddin, and he has warned all party agents in the ongoing by-elections in Kumawu constituency not to sign any pink sheet until the voting ends. Nuruddin alleged that the NDC has detected some pink sheets being used for the elections that have already been signed, even though voting is still underway. So we are sure that the Electoral Commission has also spoken about it, but or is yet to speak about it, though the former Chief Executive Officer for Asokore Mambo, who is Nuruddin, has called on the Electoral Commission to ensure that no pink sheet already signed is used in the election. So we just hope that the Electoral Commission will come out to clarify
because
this.
At this juncture, it behoves on both the Electoral Management Body and also the security agencies to ensure that this particular issue that has just crept in is resolved as soon as possible, because we know of how crucial this particular election is following the demise of the former Member of Parliament, Philip Basoah, who was buried, over the weekend, with the NPP with its slim majority in Parliament, and also the NDC because of the fact that James Jachikwesi is no longer, a Member of Parliament on their side. So the two main political parties. So
because of that, the NDC will be hoping to annex the seats. The NPP also hope to retain the seats so that they can have the numbers in Parliament.
And also the probability of the independent candidate also, who is also a former member of the NPP. We know what happened in Fomena during the 2020 elections. A member of the party.
So this time round, the NPP doesn't want to leave any stone unturned because it may go in favor of the independent candidates, and the independent candidates we know as one strong person in the constituency,
who actually came second in the 2020 election when the NDC came third. And it wasn't just by any margin, but 39, we are made to believe. 39 as against the 51% of the late NP. And so all eyes are on Kumawu this morning. We are expecting that by close of day we will have a credible and fair polls, because look, it is not easy for a government in waiting for the NDC. And for me, this is actually a test case. It's a precursor to, the 2024 general elections. Because look, if the NPP is able to maintain the seat, it is an indication, or it's indicative that, well, people, be as it may, the fact that the Kumawu constituency is traditionally an NPP seat, the trends have shown that since 1992, it has always been in favor of the NPP.
Rightly so. You just hold your thoughts briefly. We go to my colleague and the Ashanti regional correspondent, Hafiz Tijani, who is currently stationed at Kumawu to bring us up to speed on what is happening there. Hafiz, good morning. What can you tell us about Kumawu? How is the general atmosphere there this morning as elections have, or the voting has commenced?
The voting materials were distributed to the various polling centers across the 75 polling centers, and voting started at exactly 7 a.m. across all the centers, or most of the centers we have visited. And in terms of votes and the process is moving on smoothly across the areas we have visited so far. So voting started and the election is on, Philip.
Hafiz, is it possible you can position yourself for, because the line is breaking, and from what you've just stated to us, everything is going on smoothly in that particular area, that is Kumawu, as the exercise has begun. But can you tell us about security? It's very important, because with by-elections, the security agencies do not really take things for chance. Can you tell us what is happening in the area concerning security?
Well, so the police
has made adequate deployments, as they said in their statement yesterday, and they have said that they are deploying all these officers to man all the polling centers across the constituency. And we have seen an intensified police patrol within the Kumawu constituency. The police officers who are stationed at the various polling centers. We are seeing other police officers who are patrolling the communities, especially where these polling centers are. So in terms of security, the security is very high, and the police is monitoring the situation here on the ground. So the security has been beefed up, and the security is intensified in terms of the patrols and the police officers who have been stationed at the various polling stations.
So, Hafiz, we understand that the exercise or the voting is happening at some 75 polling stations. How many of these polling stations have you been able to visit today or this morning? And what can you tell us about the comportment level of voters at these stations or these centers?
So we have visited over 10 polling stations currently, and we are still visiting more. But a while ago, the center of attraction was the Oyoko Methodist School, where there were some issues. So we had to monitor the issues and the developments here. But in terms of comportment, voters are comporting themselves. The polling agents are also comporting themselves. The party people who are from other constituencies to support their parties in this election are also comporting themselves, and people are coming in to vote. Most of them, when they are done with the voting, they move away. We went to other communities which are dominantly farming communities, and you could see that people had come to the polling centers to cast their votes and then move on to their farms. Others were returning from their farms, and when they come to the polling centers, they vote and they go back to their various homes. So the comportment level has been very high. Voters are comporting themselves. People come here and vote and go away. Except that people who want to observe the process, they finish the voting and they form small groups and discuss matters about the election and also their anticipation and expectation when the process is ended and the counting is done.
And also expected to vote as some 34,000 electorates or voters. From what you stated, are you trying to paint the picture that they are coming out in their numbers and the people turning out to vote or coming out to vote is encouraging?
When you go to some areas, people like Bangkok, Presby, we went to, one of the communities here we went to, people had turned up so early and even waited for the arrival of the materials and the arrival of the electoral officers who are conducting the election. But when you go to other areas like this place, you don't find a lot of people coming here. So we have other centers where you have the polling centers that have been divided into 3 or 4. So here at the Oyoko Methodist, people are coming in, but not as expected of the turnout that was anticipated ahead of this by-election. But in terms of the time, when you look at the time now, it's early days yet to talk about the turnout, but people are turning out at the various centers.
Now let's come to the voting process itself. Is it a very easy process to go through? And also, have there been issues with some people not finding their names in the album or in the voters register as they are voting?
Not that we have recorded so far. We have not recorded such issues. I have interacted with some of the presiding officers to find out from them how they had to deal with the kits, the verification kits and all that. But they said they have tested these kits during their training before the election, and all these kits are working perfectly. And today, so far, they have not had any disappointment. Those kits have been working. People are able to verify their names. People are able to do the fingerprints, and the kits are working. But you don't find issues about missing names or people not finding their names in the voters register. People are able to trace their names and vote in the process.
Now let's come to the political parties involved, the NDC, the NPP, the independent candidate. Have there been some concerns raised by these individuals or these parties?
Okay, so a while ago, the NDC raised some concerns about they detecting some ballot papers that were, the pink sheet or the declaration form that has been signed by the agents of the parties. And the NDC was not happy about this issue. So they had to alert the Electoral Commission to come in and then rectify this concern. So the Electoral Commission has said that it has come in to change the declaration sheets at this polling station, and the NDC has also changed their agent here. I have with me, if we have time, if you can give me time, we speak to one of the monitoring team members of the NDC who detected this issue and then alerted the Electoral Commission. Alhaji Nuruddin Amdan is a former MC for Asokore Mampong. You are welcome to Citi News.
Thank you, my brother, once again.
Yeah, you raised some concerns and the EC has solved them. Are you satisfied with the process now?
Yes, I must say that. Let me thank the regional EC boss, because we raised this issue. Thankfully, he has sent somebody with a new pink sheet. So we have replaced the old one with a new one. But we'll keep monitoring. We are not going to say because they have changed it, so we are going to sleep. No. We'll keep monitoring to ensure that the right things are done.
One would say that training of agents before this day is key, that your agent had to sign even during the process. The process have not even ended, but agents were made to sign on the pink sheet. Does it mean you didn't train your agents well before this day?
On the contrary, it means that we have trained our agent and trained them well. This is the reason. This particular place is our stronghold. And we have 3 polling stations here. All the time we run elections, we win 2 out of the 3. Now, where the 2 polling stations are, which is our stronghold, it is part of the strategy that we knew, and we told our agents to create confusion so that there will be hey, and it will stall. So we told our agent, whatever the presiding officer tells you to do and complain. We would come and rectify it, because if you say you will not do it, it will be hey, and our people will not be able to come and vote. So our agent, because he's trained and trained properly, and we know these places are strong polling stations, he allowed them to do, and he complained, and we told him, don't worry. So when I came, I went straight to the presiding officer and I asked him what is happening. So everything is fine. I said, okay, can I inspect? He didn't know that I had a prior knowledge of what had transpired. So that is an effective polling agent. Instead of, using macho men, we are sending people who are learned, people who have emotional balance to deal with the situation on the ground. So when I met the presiding officer, I said, can I inspect the pink sheet? Lo and behold, the pink sheet was there in black and white. The agent of the MPP had signed. The agent of the NDC had signed. So I asked him why. He said it was a mistake. Fine, it's a mistake. Everybody can make a mistake. So I then demand that it should be cancelled. So he said, oh, they will leave it at the end of the polls. I said, no, you have to cancel it in front of me. So he cancelled it, and I took a picture of it. And later on, when I consulted the regional chairman, we demanded that we want a fresh pink sheet. Thankfully, they brought a fresh pink sheet. Now the pink sheet is there without anybody's name. At the end of the polls, we'll indicate our names, and once the figures have been signed, everything is okay. The presiding officer needs to sign first before the agent also sign, and that is what we do. And thankfully, we've sent signal in all the 75 polling stations to also insist that all the pink sheets are not signed. Pink sheet is the last thing to do at the polling stations.
Finally, what has happened to agents here?
Our agent is there working. There are 2. So we asked him to step aside and allow the second one to take over. They came. The EC came. They wanted to change even the presiding officer. But because of 1 or 2 signals that we picked, we said, we are okay. I'm here. I'm going to be here throughout. And if I'm here, I don't think I need anybody to even monitor. So I have dedicated myself and my team with Abu Sadat and Co, Honorable Salu and Co. All of us are here. And we're going to stay here till the end of the polls to make sure that as far as this polling station is concerned, the right things are done.
Okay, so that's Alhaji Nurdin Amidan. He's the former Asakori Mampon chief executive, and he is one of the monitoring team members. So we are giving viewers a feel of the polling center and the activities here. So this is the Oyoko Methodist polling station. So here at this polling station, the process or the polling centers have been divided into 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and the voters are going about their voting process. And you can see an elderly woman is being aided to go through the process. And this is happening in all the polling centers we have visited. When you go, you have the elderly people. They are being given preferential treatment, and people with disability, they are being aided to take or go about the process. And we are seeing another person who is coming here and is going to be aided to go through the process. So voting across the centers has been smooth so far since in the morning. There have not been any issue, except that we have national officers from both the NDC and the MPP. They are crisscrossing the centers and making sure that they inspect what is going on and speak to the Electoral Commission if there are some concerns that needs to be rectified, like we just heard from the NDC, which says that it contacted the Electoral Commission on some concerns, and those concerns have been solved. So that is the issue here so far.
Okay, Hafiz, also, we understand that you just made mention of some national officers. I'll just ask you, these national officers, some of them that you've cited. But before that, the NPP and the NDC, they have deployed high-ranking officers as polling agents. What can you tell us about this to us?
That we have the member of parliament for Mr. Ablakwa, who is one of the agents at one of the polling stations, but we are yet to get to that center to verify for or confirm for ourselves. But we have had signals that some of them are taking part in this exercise. Not only the campaign, but they are taking part in this exercise, and others are doing the monitoring themselves. A while ago, this place, we saw Nana Boachi, who is the organizer, the national organizer of the MPP. I've also seen the youth organizer of the MPP, Mustafa Abdul Salam, who has come here, and they are visiting other areas in the constituency to monitor the process. And I have seen Baba Jamal, who is also with some team members or from the NDC who are monitoring the process. So a number of MPs, a number of national executives from the NDC and the MPP are all here getting involved in the process to ensure that the process and the election is smooth. And at the end of the day, there are various candidates come out victorious in this election.
Hafiz, many thanks for your time. Keep staying put at the constituency for us and monitoring the by-elections there. That is Hafiz Tijani, our Ashanti regional correspondent, who is currently stationed at Kumawu constituency, watching keenly what is happening there concerning the by-elections. And trust us here on Citi TV, Citi FM, will bring you all the updates and all the actions in that particular constituency. But Nilate tells you that interesting things are happening in the constituency. In the short, I saw the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Fiavikwete. I saw the Elections Director there, Daniel Amate. I saw a number of bigwigs from the national level of the NPP and the NDC, all in Kumawu. And this should tell you how important the by-elections is to these political parties.
Exactly so, Philip. It tells you the level of premium the opposition party has actually placed on this particular by-election. I was actually telling you what this particular election will mean for both the NPP and the NDC. The NPP will say that a retention of the seat is, a confirmation of their stewardship, that they've been able to, in fact, it will boost their confidence in the 2024 elections going forward. But for the NDC, should they win, it will also put across that statement that, well, We told you that the NPP has actually mismanaged the economy. The time is right for us to, kick them out. And so both parties have their eyes on the election. Whatever the outcome is by the close of day, will also send strong signals for the government in waiting and also the government in power. And for me, per Hafiz's report, you realize that all is well and good. There is relative calm. There are no pockets of violence recorded. Not as if we are anticipating, but it's just a showcase of the fact that everything is going on smoothly, except for what we've earlier spoken about the the already signed pink sheet that have popped up in the constituency, which we want to believe that it will be resolved. And so for the independent candidate, that's Kwekudua, the senior, who believes that, well, the junior is in there to make some machinations. His refusal to change the logo
to muddy the water,
to muddy the water, if you want to put it that way, will also become. But mind you, the NDC has said that they are going to pull a surprise. They are going to pull a surprise. So let's see what happens by close of day today in Kumawu, because look, by-elections are very, very important. We also have one ahead of us in the Western region, James Jachekwesi. And so all these things, the NDC will not want to, leave it to chance the NPP same. And so big day for both the NPP and the NDC in Kumawu. We want to wish both parties well, not as if we are neglecting the independent candidate. They are also part. Let's see how they are able to conduct this particular election in a rather peaceful.
But we are still not done with Kumawu. We are still watching CNR Extra here on Citi TV. We will speak to the political parties on the ground in the constituency after this break. So certainly we will be having conversation with the political parties in the Kumawu constituency following the by-elections that is happening there. This is also following the demise of Philip Basoah, the late member of parliament for the area. But after this break, we will speak to the political parties, so stay with us.
If you're a whiz kid that collects straight A's in your sleep, a brainy brains that aces quizzes without even trying, or a clever clogs that knows just about everything, then there's one more battle you have to win: the Literacy Challenge. The nationwide search for the best junior high student is on. Think it could be you going home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, write a story that ends with the following statement: the happiest people do not have the best of everything, they make the best of everything they have. Stories should be written in your own handwriting with the deadline of Saturday, the 15th of July, 2023 in mind. Submissions must include an endorsement by a parent or guardian and their full contact details. And once you're done, shoot off your entries to the front desk of Citi TV or Citi FM. Or you can send entries to PO Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For more inquiries, call 0558 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV and supported by Citi FM.
You're welcome back. This is still CNR Extra here on Citi TV. My name is Philip Nilati. I'm here with Need Latte. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comment via WhatsApp line 0204447033. We'll still take you to Kumawu and bring you more actions happening there. Joining us is Salam Mustafa, who is the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, who is joining us on the line. Hello, sir. What is your take on the elections so far? The exercise started this morning as of 7 a.m. What has been your thought on the exercise happening so far?
Thank you very much, Philip. The process is ongoing very smoothly. So far, I can't report of any mishap. Security is okay. The process is orderly. So I think that if everything remains this way, at the end of the day, we are going to have a very peaceful, credible, and fair election. And I pray that all factors remain constant till the end of polls. But I can also report that so far turnout is not very bad, as we have witnessed with other by-elections, even though it is not at the level that we were anticipating. But so far, the number of people who have turned out to vote is appreciable, and we are on the ground monitoring the process and all that. We have been here in this constituency campaigning for the last 1 month or so. In fact, for the last 3 weeks straight, I have lived in this constituency. I've gone to every single community. In fact, virtually in the zone I handle, I've gone to virtually every single household. So I understand the place very well. And from where I sit, I think it's a very resounding victory waiting for the New Patriotic Party once more, that we will maintain our seat.
If you say it's a victory for the NPP, the independent candidate, Kwekudia Senior, or so to speak, and also we have the NDC in there, all hoping to annex the seat. Why will you say that it's going to be a victory for the NPP by the end of the day? These candidates are also hoping to annex the seat or take the seat at the end of these by-elections.
As for elections, everybody can contest elections. You know, it's a multi-party democracy we are practicing in this country. Everybody has a right to contest. But if you study the electoral dynamics here, you would understand that MPP is a dominant party here. In the last election, our candidate, the late Philip Basoah, had 14,000 votes. And an incumbent, an independent, had 11,000 votes. It will interest you to know that the independent, his campaign was heralded by MPP people, known MPP executives, who led the campaign for the independent. For the NDC, their presence here is totally negligible because their candidate polls a miserable 2,000 of the 36,000 registered voters here. So their presence is very negligible. In this by-election, it is about us and the independent, and all the factors that helped the independent to garner vote in the last election are no more present. We went into 2020 with a structured front because the constituency was divided between those who supported the late MP and those who were against him and went to support the independent candidate. So that's what led to that seemingly split of votes. And that dynamics doesn't exist as we speak today. The candidate we have, Ernest Yao Enim, has been able to unite the constituency, and now all those who went to support the independent are now back in our fold, and we have all done the campaign together. So that's where I derive my confidence from, that we are going to win this convincingly, and it's a hands-down victory coming our way.
And also, there's been an issue of some already signed pink sheets. I don't know if it's come to the attention of the NPP in the area that some pink sheets have already been signed and that the NDC has rejected this.
It is not already signed pink sheet. It's a declaration of polls form that brought a little bit of an issue. In fact, currently I am at that police station, Oyoko. Now, what happened was that the explanation of the presiding officer, that when he was filling the form, he mistakenly signed. But when he realized the mistake, he called for a new form to be brought, the declaration form to be brought, so that he would transfer the information that was on the first sheet to the second one, which would not be signed, and wait until after polls for all the polling agents to sign. So I was surprised that the NDC wanted to make a fuss about it. You see, it is not an issue that ballot accounting has indicated that something untoward has happened. If you do ballot accounting and you realize that something untoward has happened, then the integrity of the election is questioned. But in this place, there's no problem with the entire process. It's a form that is going to play a role at much later time of the day. So it was much ado about nothing, but that matter has been resolved. And there is no issue of a signed pink sheet already. There's nothing like that. It was a declaration form that had a little problem, which the EC has gone ahead to change. So we are all there, and the process is ongoing smoothly. There's no problem at all.
Okay, sir. Many thanks for your time. We'll still come back to you for more update from the constituency as the by-elections is still happening there in the Kumawu constituency, just gone by, as Salam Mustafa, who is the national youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party. Very soon we'll be speaking to the NDC side to also hear from them what they make of the by-elections. But Nilati, as you heard there, it looks like the NPP sees that, or at the end of the day, is going to be all glooming or victory for them to win these elections.
Exactly, and if you listen to Mustafa very well, the party is actually deriving its confidence from the trends that we've seen in that particular constituency.
And he says that the factors that made the independent candidates gain some vote or win some margin in the constituency are no longer there. So that they know that for sure that the NPP will be winning this by-elections.
It's only by close of day that will be able to make all these deductions, given the results that will be declared by, the Electoral Commission. But be as it may, the NPP must also not be complacent in its quest to, ensure that it retains the seat in Kumawu, because mind you, over the years, it has always been the NPP, traditionally the trends, a stronghold of the NPP at that. But we've given the lessons we saw in, Fomena, for example, it should really tell the party that things are not the same anymore. If you want to take away the factors you claim made the independent candidate the force to reckon with in the 2020 elections no longer exist, the Kumawu, the Fomena example should tell you otherwise, because look, these are people who feel aggrieved that certain issues in the party have not been resolved, so they step out, come out as independent candidates, and they are able to pull masses alongside. And so it shouldn't be easy. At least, if for nothing at all, residents will say that nothing really changed between 2020 and now, until the demise of, the late member of parliament. For us to see a by-election lurking in the corner for government to go in there to construct, roads, asphalt them and all that, government denying the fact that it is not in any way to induce voters, it wasn't to influence them, it was no form of, vote buying. I mean, the voters have conscience. You cannot take them for a ride. You didn't give them what is due them. only for a by-election
for you to go there.
For you to go there, and that is
actually
the
Roads Ministry has come out to say that
it is mere
that is
rhetoric.
not the reason why we are fixing the roads, and that Philip Basoah, the late, there were plans for the roads in the constituency to be fixed, and now this is the time that we think that is right for the roads to be fixed.
Well, I interviewed Richard Anhagba, Director of Communications for the NPP, last Friday on Eyewitness News. He was telling me that, well, plans were far advanced. They had already agreed to ensure that the roads are fixed way in March. Is it the only constituency in the Ashanti region that needs roads? Obviously, no. Why Kumawu constituency? These are some of the questions we should be asking ourselves. We shouldn't be taking for granted. I mean, Philip, we know how to, separate the fact from, mischief and all that. And so that is why the NPC is also saying that, look, the NPP doesn't care about you. Just look at what they've done. They didn't give you what is due you. Social amenities you were deprived of. Your lives were put in danger because of the bad nature of the roads, and it was just a by-election for them to, prioritize it and do it. You tell you that. And the NPP is also saying that, well, the NDC hasn't given you anything. And I even spoke to Joseph nothing has happened. He says that there is a hospital in Kumawu. Ever since the NDC left power, and that is what residents actually want, that a speedy completion of that particular health facility is what they want.
And that should tell you why big wigs are going into the party. And because if Joseph Yamin, Betimodi Drisu, Alex Mode, Okujetua Blakwa, Fifi Fiabikwete, Nana Bwache, we've seen the president also go there over the weekend. They held a rally. The vice president was there. All the flag bearer aspirants or hopeful for the party were there. That is the NPP. They were all there. This should tell you that this election is something that is really something that the NPP is at all costs must win, and at all costs the NDC also wants to annex. So it tells you that they are trying to put out messages there to woo the electorate or to woo the constituent.
Isn't it for their own parochial interest, the political expediency of it, given the numbers that we have in Parliament now? And so for the NPP's, its slim majority, I was telling you, is trying very hard to ensure that it retains the seat in Kumawu. The NDC actually, because of the fact that James Jachikwesin is no longer a member of Parliament.
Let's speak to the NDC National Ashanti Regional Chairman, Augustus Nana Akwesi Andrews, who joins us via the telephones to tell us what his observation has been so far in the constituency. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you?
It's great.
What do you make of the elections so far? What has been your observation?
For now, it's peaceful and everything is going on well. But the incident that happened at Oyoko, one of the polling stations at Oyoko, was that the declaration forms were pre-signed before the end of the elections. We all know that pink sheet must be signed after the elections are over and counting is complete. But the EC boss forced the agents there to sign it. So we reached there and we saw that it was true. And the EC official there has confirmed that he did that. So we've requested for a new pink sheet or a new declaration form, and the EC officer must be changed. But as we are talking now, they brought a new pink sheet, but the EC boss is still on post.
So this tells you that you are satisfied with what the EC has done concerning the pink sheet and resolving that particular issue?
We are not yet satisfied because the EC boss or the EC officer in which signed the documents before is still on post. So we don't know what he can do again, but we want him removed.
You want him removed so that you can... What would this mean to you if the EC officer is not removed as you are requesting or demanding for before the elections ends today?
Because he can do anything. Because now we are very vigilant. This election, we are taking it serious. So what they are doing, we are not happy about it. That's why we want him removed so that we can get a new person. Because an easy boss who has done this, we don't trust him again. He can do anything without our consent.
And aside this particular concern that you are raising, we know that the EC is going to address this and they've started processes to address it. But are there other concerns you are raising? And also the issue of you annexing the seat. Well, the NPP has stated categorically that this is, so to speak, like a safe seat for the NPP. What makes you think that you'll be able to annex the seat by close of day?
When you say something is a safe seat, you don't worry yourself like this. Because they know that they've done nothing for the good people of Kumawu. Look at the money that they are spending. Now you can see all their ministers here, their CEOs there, and they are doing everything possible to get the seat back. And the way they are spreading money, giving money out of the polling stations, it's very bad.
But you are also having your men there. You're having bigwigs from the national level of the NDC also there. This isn't also a way to mean that you are also keenly interested in this seat and that you wouldn't want to go and relax, as the NPP also don't want to also relax in winning the seat.
We are telling the delegates the good thing that the NDC has done. That's what we are telling them. And the MPP, because they've done nothing, they are using money. You can see a lot of the DCs, the ministers, the CEOs all over spreading money. And it's very obvious. If they know that they've done something good for the good people of Kumawu, they will never do this.
What do you mean by the NPP is using money in these elections?
But look at Kumawu. Since 92, MPP hasn't done anything that they can boldly say it. And one thing about the vice president, he got an opportunity to campaign at Kumawu, and he was saying, Dumso, tell what you've done for the good people of Kumawu. He wasn't able to say even a single project. And now the person has died, and they are wasting money left and right. They've done nothing. And they are afraid that they may lose the seat. So they are here in their numbers doing everything possible.
And also with security, are you okay with the security installation in the constituency today?
For now, we are okay.
If you say for now, why do you want something more done?
Oh, by elections, normally from 1-2 going, that's where we get the place become a bit soft, but now we are not yet there. But for now, the security is okay.
And with the bigwigs that are there with the NPP, which of your colleagues are there to monitor the elections? We understand that you've deployed some bigwigs from the party, that is high-ranking party officers, to be polling agents in this exercise. What does this mean for the party, and why this action?
As a party, we are serious. This election is a test case for us. So we have to do our things right. That's why you can see some MPs as polling agents, some lawyers as polling agents. So it's normal we are not using that money that we want to use to influence the people. We've done it before. That's what we want the good people of Kumawu to know, that we've done it without by-elections. And the NDC has given them hospital. Without by-elections, we've given them water, we've given them roads, we've given them schools. We didn't wait for any by-elections before NDC does something for the good people of Kumawu. And these people, because of by-elections, they are doing what they are doing.
Okay, sir. Many thanks for your time. We just spoke to Augustus Nana Kwesi Andrews, who is the NDC Ashanti Regional Chairman, who is also monitoring events at Kumawu as the by-elections is happening there. It looks like the political parties are eager to win the seat by end of the day.
Exactly so, Philip. And if you look at the dynamics, aside from the trends, apart from the independent candidate, that's Kumawu as senior, all other candidates are new in the race. You know, NSA from the NPP and also Amankwa from the NDC. So it is not as if it's the same kind of people contesting in that particular race. And even Kumawu as senior has actually already declared that should he win, he's not going to caucus with either the NPP, neither the NPP nor the NDC if he goes to parliament, just as, you know, former MP is caucusing with the NPP. And so it should tell you that all parties involved in the race are actually coming in with their own mindset, with their own plan, with their own, you know, idea of what an ideal male constituency should be. And if you listen to the NDC, they are actually saying that because of the lack of responsibility on the part of, you know, the NPP, not giving the constituents what is due them, not ensuring that their lives are made better, they should be given the chance. Well, the NPP is always deriving its confidence from the fact that, well, we've done it since 1992. What else is there for us to prove? And if you listen to, you know, the NDC, the interview he just conducted, he is of the strong conviction that, well, because the NPP knows that they've not done anything in the constituency, that's why they are pulling all their arsenals in the constituency. Because if you say it is a safe seat for you, why then should you bother bringing all your men, trying to impress, you know, voters to ensure that they get your buy-in? And so, Philip, if you get what I'm saying, you realize that things are not like they were in 2020. This is a different ball game altogether. This by-election is crucial. The NPP wants to, you know, make that statement of the confidence in its governance. The NDC, on the other hand, wants to show that this is our preparedness, our readiness to ensure that we take over government in 2024. And so all eyes and, you know, hands are on deck in this particular case. And it behoves on the Electoral Commission to ensure that this particular election is conducted in a free, fair, and, you know, credible manner. We do not want to see, you know, in the aftermath of the elections, a lot of concerns will be raised. Aggrieved parties will be raising a lot of issues. There will be issues of overvoting, unsigned, you know, declaration forms and all that, because it really complicates, you know, the whole conduct of the polls and also brings out a flawed election, if you want me to put it that way. And this is a by-election, crucial as it may. Both parties will not want the seat to, you know, slide them just like that. And so we are hoping that by close of polls today, due diligence will be done. The NPP will be satisfied with the process, the NDC will be satisfied with the process, and we are begging the political parties to conduct themselves in a manner worth emulating. Because look, anything that happens on election grounds will either affect them, it can make them or make them. And we don't want to go to parliament and say that the election of this particular member of parliament in Kumawu was characterized with a lot of, you know, violence, was characterized with a lot of, you know, election, you know, malpractices. And so we are putting, you know, his particular election or credibility in line.
But from what the two political parties have stated, the NPP side and the NDC side, they are okay with the process, they are okay with the security arrangement made, they are ensuring that the process will go smoothly. And the only thing that we all call for, like you stated, is that the process should go smoothly so that by the end of the day, we will know the new member of parliament for the Kumawu constituency. But also, we're bringing you update on the Kumawu elections in our subsequent bulletin at 3 p.m. 2020 bulletin, and also a dedicated program at 5 p.m. where we would have all the actions happening in that particular constituency, and also lead to the declaration of the elections and also the individual who has won the particular elections. This is how we end today's edition of CNR Extra here on Citi TV. My name is Philip Latte. I did this with me, Latte. Keep watching Citi TV.